Guys, you've heard this before. Good keyboards are getting cheaper and cheap keyboards are getting gooder. Now, what is up is this is the LTC Nimbleback 682 Pro from a brand I've been covering a lot of in 2024. A brand that has been improving their keyboards with every stride, keeping up with the trends of the market. Now, the last keyboard I reviewed from them was this $79 TKL with the display screen, and it was a huge leap in improvement from the previous generations of keyboards coming out from LTC. It's really nice to see a brand continuously improve on their design, build quality, and innovations. So the new $69 682 Pro continues to take the LTC on this upward trajectory. It comes with a 65% form factor, a TFT screen here, as you can see, does all kinds of things. It also plays GIFs if you wanted to. Visually, it looks like an aluminum keyboard, and that's because the combination of the color and also the finish. It's a very smooth plastic, and to the touch it feels a little bit like aluminum. It's very, it's got that clean, squared off chassis like what most aluminum keyboards have. And it's also a pretty heavy keyboard. It weighs in at 875 grams, which is almost the same weight as some aluminum keyboards. I'm going to do a serious run on some very good keyboards in the next months. So if you're interested in this, please sub to this channel. I will do my best to bring you the best value, best build, and great sounding keyboards. Now, let's talk about the build quality. I mentioned this was an 875 all plastic build exterior, but the keyboard itself is very stiff. I'm doing the twist test here. There's very minimal flex. If you try to twist the chassis, it's very solid and fairly light at the same time. There's a volume knob that I can only describe. It feels like a Clarion car stereo on an old Saab Turbo, you know what I mean? These notches are very satisfying and they work as intended. If I'm being honest, I don't really use it, as I feel like the arrow keys are closer to me if I need to adjust the volume or scrub forward on a YouTube video. I just use the arrows. When I'm leaned back in my recliner, I can't really reach the knob, so I just use the arrows. There's also a multifunction display screen, which I showed you earlier. It plays GIFs, it displays the time, it displays the batteries. You can do all kinds of settings with it, connection status, adjust your keyboard lights, and it also monitors your keyboard temperature, your CPU temperatures, if you want. But if I'm going to be critical, I'm going to say I wish these volume knobs were, this volume knob was somewhere here instead of up there. I think I can actually use them better if they were there. It also comes with these tritone keycaps, light blue, dark blue, and white. The alphas, of course, white. Secondary color is this light blue, and then the dark blue accent keycaps, which is pretty cool. But what else is different about this keyboard? The keycaps are MDA profile versus the Cherry OEM type of profiles that most keyboards come with. This means they're taller, semi-sculpted, and rounded look and feel. You can see the tops of these keycaps are rounded. It's more comfortable with a deeper stroke. Not to mention, it also adds to that Huga aesthetic, which in a subtle way is the main point of the keyboard. It's tri-mode, which means you're going for a clean, minimalistic look on your table. You can connect via Bluetooth or 2.4G. You can connect to multiple devices because your Bluetooth connection lets you connect up to 3 devices like your TV, your tablet, your phone, and with the added capabilities, this just means it's a very good keyboard that you can just take with you to different stations within your house, or even to multiple locations like your office or to a cafe, to work on your tablet or your phone or whatever. Just use the keyboard. Pretty cool. Now this is a plate mounted keyboard, which means it doesn't have the bouncy gasket feel that most most popular type of builds these days. That is where the taller MDA keycaps help to, in my opinion, cushion the keystroke and make the typing experience more pleasant. There's also the what do I want to show you? There's also the boxed linear switches, which add to this feel of stability. These are boxed and they have very little wobble because of that. I think a lot of people are migrating to these type of switches with the boxed stems, and they help with making the keyboard or the keycaps feel a bit more solid in its place. There's less wobble and you feel like this keyboard is nicer. Speaking of which, let's take a typing test sound. How are they doing this with a budget keyboard? All the new plastic keyboards are doing this with layers and layers of dampening foam and silicone, and in this case the NB682 has a sound dampening Poron foam. Below that there's an IPXE switch sound pad, then a PET sound enhancement pad, and then another rubber pad, and finally a molded silicone dampening pad that sits flush with the bottom of the case. Now I've had this $69 keyboard for the last 2 months, and I'm not gonna lie, it's one of my most used keyboards next to my Hall Effect keyboards. I take it with me to the TV room. I use it to navigate YouTube on my TV. It's just very useful, very light, very mobile. It's amazing. It comes with the usual software and RGB customization if you want. How did I turn on? Yeah, there you go. RGB is right there. So if you need like a gamery look, you can have RGB, or you want to operate the keyboard in the dark, they've got you covered. Now you can't really see the RGB lights right now because of my bright overhead lights, but I think you can catch it. It's there. And guess what? You can pair this keyboard with a matching white glass pad. This is a 300 by 300 micro edge glass pad that's centered, or that's not centered, but that's catered to people who like glass pads, who want the glass experience, but they don't want a 490 by 420 glass pad, or they don't want a 500 by 500 glass pad. The Tenta X behind is a 490 by 420. This is a miniature version of it. This is a 300 by 300. This is your office glass pad. Or some gamers don't want a large glass pad. A lot of people who play League of Legends or whatever, they don't need a large glass pad, but they want a glass experience, and there's not many companies out there offering a smaller version. So it's pretty cool, and it's kind of like it's set up for modern office aesthetic, or you just want a clean look. This is a nice glass pad for productivity again. If you're into a glass pad but you want something smaller, this is a 300 by 300 from LTC as well, and it's white, so it's pretty cool. This will match up with any kind of office setup. If you have a Mac, a clean office wireless setup, this would fit in aesthetically. It's got really nice smooth surface and a let me pick it up, a silicone rubber base. I think the thickness is about 3 millimeters, 2 millimeters. It's not very thick, but yeah, it's really nice white, and as you can hear from the sound, it's a very smooth surface, very quick. Yeah, that's the LTC glass pad. I think it runs about $50 as well, and you can get it on Amazon or the LTC website. Anyway, that's my video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Get some useful information on really nice budget keyboards that are full of features and look great at the same time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.